Welcome into Good Morning Vail. It is Friday, May 3rd. I'm your host, Ross Leonhardt. We have Nick and Max helping out behind the cameras, and we have a great show coming right up. We'll have James with the Eagle River Coalition. We are talking highway cleanup tomorrow, one of the best events and kind of ways to get out and help the community happening tomorrow. We have a local musician, Jacob Stanley, who's releasing an album today. He will be in studio. Lots going on this Friday, heading into the weekend. Grab that coffee, reload it. Stay tuned. We're getting going right now.
Get up, get ready to start your day. The mountains are calling you out to play. Come on, we'll make you feel right at home. Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail.
Welcome into the TV8 Weather Center. On this Friday morning, we are starting out at 38 degrees. To start the day, we will see a high of 54. Partly cloudy skies throughout the day today. Some slight winds, 20 to 30 miles an hour coming in from the west-southwest here. Going to be a fun Friday here. Into the hourly, sunny to start, partly cloudy around noon, 54 degrees. 4 p.m., 52 degrees. And at 8 p.m., temperatures start coming down. 43 degrees with those clouds rolling in later in the day. Into the I-70 corridor, Eagle, a high of 64 degrees today. Avon, a high of 61. Vail, a high of 54. Partly cloudy skies throughout the Rocky Mountain region today. Denver, a high of 73 degrees with mostly sunny skies on the Front Range today. Tonight, a low of 29 degrees. Partly cloudy skies. Sunset at 8:02 p.m. Winds coming down a little bit tonight, 5 to 10 miles per hour into the evening. Into the rest of the weekend and into next week, Saturday, mostly sunny skies for the highway cleanup out there. If you are on the roads, please be careful tomorrow. There are going to be hundreds of people out there picking up trash, making it look nice and pretty. And on Sunday, partly cloudy skies with a high of 60 degrees, a low of 29. Looking like a pretty good weekend in the Rocky Mountains. Monday, snow showers, a high of 39 degrees and a low of 28. 60% chance of those snow showers on Monday. Tuesday, not pleasant. 43 degrees, low of 23 degrees with 50% of precipitation. That doesn't sound very pleasant to me. Wednesday, we'll get some more sun coming back in, mostly sunny, high of 43 degrees, low of 25. So this weekend, the warmest days we have coming up, so enjoy those before that weather starts rolling in next week. And we are going to be joined on the couch next by James talking highway cleanup. Stay tuned.
Good morning, Vail.
Stevie Lee Woods presents Nashville Roadhouse Live, where country meets rock and roll.
It's where I drank my first beer, where I found Jesus, where I wrecked my first car, I tore it all to pieces. Join us every week for more live performances right here on Nashville Roadhouse Live.
Did you know that all Eagle County residents and visitors can get a free Eagle Valley Library District card? All you need is a photo ID. You get our online databases and resources, free music, free streaming, all from wherever you have internet access. Free audiobooks and e-audiobooks straight to your phone. Go into your Eagle Valley Library District branch today and get your library card.
Hi there! Are you ready to explore famous neighborhoods from New York City to Kentucky? Watch The Neighborhood with host Nicole Newman. Featuring famous people, unique history, and delicious places to eat and drink. Our viewers get an inside personal look at each neighborhood. With each episode we learn, grow, laugh, and live like a local, not just a visitor. Welcome to the neighborhood. Check your local program schedule and tune in.
For the latest and greatest trends in pop entertainment, Popstar Today brings you compelling celebrity lifestyle stories that matter most to you. From movies, music, TV, and streaming shows, to fashion, social media influencers, and the latest on who is seeing who. Join host Elizabeth Stanton as she digs deep and dives in. This is Popstar Today.
Learn the latest in science each week and how it relates to everyday life. From space exploration to plant biology to the latest in high-tech advances. Every new scientific development is explored and explained in an understandable way. Amazing stories each week. Watch Science Now.
Daily Flash Latino. Designed for the American Latino audience, Daily Flash Latino hosts Jessica Reyes and Fabian Marcano deliver their fresh perspective on the latest entertainment news, celebrity gossip, fashion, health, and more in both English and Spanish, aka Spanglish. Daily Flash Latino builds, connects, and celebrates the diverse Hispanic audience. Daily Flash Latino, trending news and entertainment with a splash of Spanglish.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome into Good Morning Vail. Joining us on the couch this morning is James Dilzell with the Eagle River Coalition. James, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So, Eagle River Coalition, a little rebrand here, but tomorrow we have the highway cleanup.
Yeah, our 24th annual.
24th
annual cleanup, yeah.
And what I don't think people realize is we're on this kind of streak of 10 to 20 tons of trash is getting picked up across the highways locally every single year.
Yeah, last year we had, I think, 860 volunteers that picked up about 19 tons of trash, and that's it's an annual event for us, and we get that much trash every year. It's crazy.
It's awesome, and you know, locals, visitors, we always talk about how beautiful that drive is into town and how beautiful it is out here. And a lot of that's the natural beauty, but a lot of that's what we do tomorrow, right? And making it, cleaning it all up.
I think so. It's always a little shocking coming out of winter when you see all of the things under the snow. And yeah, it's wonderful to have so many folks mobilized for this event every year and really helping make our watershed beautiful and preventing trash from getting in our rivers.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's not the most glamorous thing, but to have almost 1,000 people out there
really cool.
really
It's
shows
really powerful.
that, yeah, it shows that this is important to us, right?
Yeah.
So how are we looking for tomorrow? How many volunteers?
We're looking good. We're around the 800 mark right now, and we still have some rosters coming in, but some folks are going out today to clean, but most people are going out tomorrow, and yeah, we're expecting another 18 tons of trash, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Yeah, that's awesome. A lot of local businesses usually, you know, kind of adopt a stretch that they do every year. So look for that, and if people want to join in last minute, are there opportunities to get in on it tomorrow?
I think we could probably figure out some last minute places to put you on a team. And we'd love to have everyone join.
Yeah, awesome. Can we talk a little bit about that rebrand? Because it might be a little different than most people realize.
Yeah, so we're usually Eagle River Watershed Council, but this year we launched Eagle River Coalition. We wanted to be a little bit more approachable to our local community with the notion that we can't protect our watershed without everyone on board. And a council feels like someone else is doing it, but a coalition, it's for our community. So,
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And it really is. And talking about the trash, I mean, tons of trash, literally. And one of the fun things is there's a prize for the most unique trash found, right?
There is a prize for the most unique trash found, yeah. Folks who are out, they can email us their photos from the day, and if there's a goofy but appropriate trash, it's in the running.
What is it that most people, what was it last year? Do you remember what did people find out?
You are challenging my memory. I don't remember what it was last year. In past years, there was a snake in a beer can once. That was pretty crazy. I think that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, from me doing it personally, I know it's a lot of plastic, a lot of these single-use plastic bottles out there, some car parts from stuff that just falls off cars and sits there. A lot of different stuff that we just don't want out there that ends up in our rivers.
Yeah, I think last year we may have pulled a refrigerator off of Colorado River Road that was kind of tumbling into the river. Yeah, we had a CrossFit team get that out of the river.
Love that.
Some
love
great
that.
photos.
And what's so cool about it too is it's kind of like people of all ages are out there too. It's cool to see
Yeah.
families, businesses, just the community rallying. And it's supposed to be a beautiful day tomorrow.
Yeah, I think we're supposed to have partly sunny and just nice temperatures. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, and so last year, we're kind of coming off COVID when it didn't happen. That trash really accumulated. Do you think we caught back up and we picked up most of that stuff since we shut down for a
I
year?
think so. The year after COVID, I want to say we picked up around 22 tons. So there was a noticeable bump, but not 40 tons, which was good. But yeah, I think we're in a groove again.
Yeah, definitely. And for you guys, what goes into an event like this? Like, this is a one-day event, but how do you guys get this all organized and get it going?
Yeah, we've had some really awesome project managers who have fantastic checklists, and it's pretty dialed. There's a lot of steps to get there, a lot of coordination, but we've done this for 24 years, so we know what we need to do, and we get it done. And there's always chaos leading up to the event. This week's always a little funny because you're like, do we call this person? Do they have their things? But
Right.
yeah, it's great.
Yeah, and I always try to let people know tomorrow you're going to see hundreds of people out there in their vests. Slow down, give them space.
Yep.
They're picking up trash. Be kind, right? And that's everywhere from Vail down to Gypsum, right?
Absolutely, yeah, and a little bit of Highway 131, a little bit of 24, and we've got folks on Colorado River Road. We started that, I think, last year, just because we noticed a lot of trash and our community kind of asked for that.
So some of these side roads, Interstate 70 is going to be kind of packed with people.
Definitely.
But today and tomorrow
Today
as well,
and
right?
tomorrow, yes. And thank you to everyone who's getting out there today and tomorrow. It is amazing to have all of you out there, and we truly cannot do this without you. So.
It really is. Hundreds of people, locals too, and it's really, really cool to see. What else is going on with the Eagle River Coalition, though?
Yeah, what else is going on? We have some really exciting planting events with Town of Vail this summer, and some larger projects with stakeholder groups launching this year. A couple of restoration projects, one in the headwaters and one in the lower waters and the lower Eagle. And our awesome education events. We're doing our Eagle Mine Tour again this year in July. It's a community favorite just because you don't really get to get up and close to the Belden place very often, but we get to bring people there. So
That's awesome. And this is for anyone, right? Whether you're just on your own or in a group, you're always looking for volunteers there, right?
We are always looking for volunteers, yeah, we are.
And it makes for a good kind of group outing. I've done it with my companies before, and it's kind of a fun way to bond and do something good for the community too.
Absolutely.
So highly recommend getting out there and joining you guys. What else is going on this summer? You guys got a busy summer outside of the cleanup tomorrow?
Yeah, we do. We've got great events, some education ones. Like I said, we've got the Eagle Mine Tour coming up in July, and of course our river cleanup in September. But we'll have new staff joining us this summer. So we want everyone to come out and meet our new brand and our new team. And I think we'll be at GoPro games all weekend. So lots of opportunities to come talk with us and get your new Eagle River Coalition swag.
That's it. Yeah, the GoPro Mountain Games returning June 6th to 9th this year. I know those guys get out and help and give back to the community. A lot of what happens with the mountain games are on the water too.
Yeah,
so it's
absolutely.
kind of cool to clean it up right now and get
Absolutely.
it ready to go. Excuse me. And then looking to tomorrow, what time does this all take place? Is this an all-day thing, and is there still that lunch for the volunteers? But what's kind of the schedule of events for?
Yeah, so we ask our volunteers to go out anywhere from 9 to noon. They can really do it whenever they want, but that's when the majority of folks will be out on the highway. So if you're driving in the morning, definitely be aware. We are not doing the barbecue after this event anymore. That was canceled due to COVID, and we realized that it was taking a ton of staff time, and we want to celebrate our volunteers, but we just do a big party in September after our river cleanup. So
awesome.
Anyone who participates in this event today, tomorrow, any of our events this summer, you're going to be invited to our river cleanup barbecue in September.
Yeah, and that river cleanup is another great event. Get out there.
That one's a little more fun. You're by the river, which is always my favorite place to be.
A little more fun, but still, same thing. You find you find golf balls, you find all sorts of stuff that we don't want in our rivers.
A lot
so
of stuff.
It's really cool to see, and a great event. Thank you guys for organizing all this. I know you got a small but mighty team pulling all this together for hundreds of volunteers. And tomorrow, if you're already on board, have a great day out there. And if you're thinking about joining in, this is a great way to serve our community here. And if you want more facts, I know the website has just some awesome facts and stats on there.
It does, yeah, lots of information. Our website is eagleriverco.org, and you can find all of our upcoming events, watershed facts, more about what we do in terms of restoration, monitoring, and advocacy. And
Yeah, the website looks awesome right now. Very clean, very organized, really good. And some of those stats just jump out and hit you, you know, about the tonnage that we pick up and all that stuff. So awesome to see. James, anything else I should have asked you? Anything else people should know about the Eagle River Coalition?
I think just another thank you to all of our volunteers, our sponsors. We couldn't do this event or all of the work that we do without those folks. And a big thank you to CDOT for driving around tomorrow and making sure we're safe today.
Yeah, and that's the other, I think people realize, like, the vest donated, right? The trash
bags donated.
How many trash bags? Like, there's
I don't even want to know how many trash bags we go through. Lots of thousands.
Lots of trash bags,
Yes.
lots of trash bags. I know some people every now and then find like a $50 bill, so it's just a fun day out there. It's a fun day out there. James, thanks so much for joining us and all you guys do. And everyone, please be safe out there tomorrow, and let's see how much trash we can pick
Thanks
up.
for having us.
Have a good one. Stay tuned for more Good Morning Vail.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome aboard! Bobby Laurie and Nikki Noya have your ticket to everything you need for an on-the-go lifestyle. Grab your boarding pass. It's time to jet set.
911, what's the address of your emergency?
We're on Highway 6. Stone Ridge Road is the nearest intersection.
Okay, tell me exactly what happened.
It looks like a person has been hit that was waiting at the bus stop. He's lying on the ground, and his bag is shot all over the place, and he's unresponsive.
My name is Chief Greg Daly with the Avon Police Department. We are making a public appeal in respect to the tragic loss of Jack Ladisic, who was killed on March 5th of this year. Jack had come to the Vail Valley for many, many years. He was an avid skier and skied with the same group of friends for over 40 years. As a 76-year-old, he was an amazingly active individual. Jack was tragically lost on the night of March 5th, and he was left on the side of the road after somebody hit him with a vehicle. We are appealing to our community for any information that you may know about this event, or if you have any information about the person that was driving that vehicle that night.
Hello, I'm Detective Sergeant Herrera with the Avon Police Department. On the night of March 5th, 2024, Jack Ladisic was walking westbound on Highway 6 at approximately 6:45 p.m. He was struck by a vehicle and killed. The vehicle left the scene. We know this to be a white, smaller vehicle reported by a witness. You are now seeing a video of a volunteer wearing similar clothing to what Jack was wearing that night. If you have any information or have heard of any information regarding that tragedy that night, please contact the Avon Police Department. We are seeking justice for Jack.
You know TV8 Vail has great local content, but did you know about our production services? Hire an expert to develop your website reel, commercials, live stream events, studio production, and more. If you can dream it, we can help you do it. TV8 delivers high-quality content in both English and Spanish. Contact us today to discuss your next project. Email Danielle at tv8vail.com or call 970-628-9881.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to the TVA Weather Center on this beautiful Friday morning, May 3rd. Today, 38 degrees to start the day at 8 a.m. We'll see a high of 54 degrees today, partly cloudy. That is some decent wind there, 20 to 30 miles per hour coming in from the west-southwest. So definitely be prepared for that. Into the hourly, things will heat up around noon, 54 degrees, partly cloudy skies. 4 p.m., 52 degrees. Things really start coming down here at 8 p.m., 43 degrees. Partly cloudy skies throughout the day today. Into the I-70 corridor, Eagle, a high of 64 degrees. Avon, high of 61. Vail, a high of 54. Partly cloudy skies throughout the Rocky Mountain region today. Denver, a high of 73 degrees today, and mostly sunny skies on the Front Range. Tonight, a low of 29 degrees. Burr, partly cloudy skies and a sunset at 8:02 p.m. Winds really settle down tonight to 5 to 10 miles per hour coming from the south-southeast then. into the rest of the weekend and next week. Tomorrow, May 4th, Star Wars Day, something like that. Mostly sunny skies, beautiful, 59-degree high, low of 36. Sunday, another beautiful day, 60-degree high, 29-degree low, partly cloudy skies before some weather really starts moving in next week. Monday, some snow showers expected, 60% chance, a high of 39 degrees and a low of 28. Tuesday, not looking very pleasant. A high of 43 and a low of 23, 50% chance of some precipitation coming down. And Wednesday, the weather starts to turn around with some mostly sunny skies and a high of 43 and a low of 25. So enjoy these next couple days before that rain and snow mixture rolls in early next week, and enjoy the warm temperatures. Again, if you are out and about tomorrow, Saturday, please be careful. We have that highway cleanup and the roads will be filled with volunteers picking up trash. Stay tuned. We've got Jacob Stanley, a local musician who's released an album today, joining us on the couch. Stay tuned.
A great alternative to getting a tooth pulled is a root canal, and I know that sounds scary, but we've got a fabulous doctor here to give us some more information on why a root canal is better than an extraction. We've got Dr. Natasha M. Flake joining me. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Maddie.
Now let's talk a little bit about why root canals are really a prize factor when it comes to taking care of your teeth.
Yeah, so root canals are a procedure that are designed to save your natural tooth. And sometimes a tooth, the inside of a tooth, might become inflamed or infected and cause a patient pain. And a root canal is a procedure that is designed to save that tooth. By cleaning out the inside of the tooth and then restoring the tooth afterwards, you're able to save your tooth. When at all possible, we want to save our natural teeth. Teeth are so important. They are important for eating, and they are important for speech, for forming our words, and they're also important for aesthetic reasons. Our smile is often the first thing that people notice about us. So when possible, we would like to save our natural tooth because nothing really looks, feels, or functions like a natural tooth.
Now, what are some of the biggest myths around root canals? Because when anyone hears root canal, their first thing is to shudder, but there are some really large myths around it.
Right, yeah. So really the largest myth surrounding root canals is that root canals themselves are painful. And that myth really comes from patients associating the root canal procedure with the pain that they had leading up to that procedure. So oftentimes when patients are in pain, and it may be a lot of pain, and they need a root canal, and sort of they associate the root canal with that pain. But modern root canal therapy is virtually pain-free. So we have techniques, we have anesthetics, we have modern tools and instruments that can help us to perform root canal therapy in a pain-free manner. And an endodontist is a specialist in root canals. So endodontists have 2 to 3 years of additional training after dental school. And that training allows us to be specialists in diagnosing tooth pain and in treating tooth pain and in performing root canal treatments, especially root canal treatments that are more complex.
Well, you just answered my next question for me. So if someone is experiencing tooth pain, what should they do?
If someone's experiencing tooth pain, first of all, it's really important to get it taken care of as soon as possible. You don't really want to wait because the problem can get worse. So you can either go see your general dentist to address that tooth pain, and sometimes your general dentist will refer you to an endodontist. But if you don't have a general dentist or would like to seek care directly from the endodontist, you may do that as well. So endodontists are the specialist in diagnosing and treating tooth pain. And you can find an endodontist in your area by going to findmyendodontist.com.
Now, why is it so important for people to take that first step, maybe leaning towards a root canal over a tooth extraction?
So there are, sometimes extraction is an option, but because our teeth are so important, we really, when possible, like to save our natural teeth. There are options for replacing teeth, and sometimes those are necessary, but when possible, we like to save our natural tooth because the replacement options are never really going to look, feel, or function quite like the natural tooth does. There are logistical reasons as well, because extraction and replacing it through another method also requires additional time and expense. But really, it's that saving the natural tooth and that function that it provides that's so important.
Now, if people are interested in learning more information about endodontists or maybe how they could find one in their area, what's the best resource for them to use?
Right, so if you would like to find out more information about root canal therapy or about endodontists, you can go to aae.org. And if you would like to find an endodontist in your area, you can go to findmyendodontist.com.
Dr. Flake, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us, giving us all this great information. Now, what's one tip that you give people to help take care of their teeth to maybe avoid root canals overall?
Really, the first step at avoiding root canal starts at home, and it starts with good oral hygiene, brushing and flossing. And then the next step is really to see your general dentist on a regular basis for preventative care. And that can help you to avoid needing a root canal. And if a problem is spotted, that really taking care of that early so that it doesn't develop into something worse. And then if something does happen, then and a root canal is needed, you can seek care from an endodontist to help to diagnose and treat that tooth pain.
Again, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us and giving us all this great information.
Thank you so much.
Make sure that if you're having any tooth pain that you take the right steps moving forward. That way you can take care of your beautiful teeth and your wonderful smile. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show, so stay tuned.
Good morning, Vail.
It's time for the best coverage of the top stories in sports. The Sports Wrap with Jason Page starts now.
How do you make Anthony Edwards the face of your franchise if you're the Minnesota Timberwolves? We'll get into that.
And we say hello to our good friend Matt Verderam, who hangs out with us from SI.com. Their NFL insider, one of them, is hanging out with us on the program today.
Did you see Caitlin Clark last night?
She put up a 40-burger, hits the game-winning three as time expires.
Let's turn our attention to the Denver Broncos, one of the NFL's most dysfunctional situations.
The Sports Wrap with Jason Page.
From small towns to big cities and everywhere in between, we're covering the great things that are happening right now in the USA. This is Positively America with Ernie Anastas.
Each week, we're going to focus on the great things that are happening every day in the USA. We'll feature change makers.
In every older person, there's a younger person saying, how did this happen?
Innovators.
I talk about design the way some people might talk about like the person they're in love with.
Doers and dreamers.
You can use that recognition to pay it forward.
Ordinary Americans accomplishing extraordinary things.
When you smile, you receive one back most of the time.
We're going to prove to you that optimism and hope are paving the way to an even brighter tomorrow.
We've got a lot of programs that are specifically focused on the children of our fallen heroes.
At Positively America, our mission is to feature good news.
For the latest and greatest trends in pop entertainment, Popstar Today brings you compelling celebrity lifestyle stories that matter most to you. From movies, music, TV, and streaming shows, to fashion, social media influencers, and the latest on who is seeing who. Join host Elizabeth Stanton as she digs deep and dives in. This is Popstar Today.
Eight-time Emmy-nominated Animal Rescue is a half-hour television series showcasing the heroic efforts of people helping animals. Join host and award-winning journalist Alex Payne and the Animal Rescue camera crew as they travel around the world, capturing dramatic rescues, rehabilitation, and relocation stories. For programming schedule, check your local listings today. Don't miss your favorite episodes of Animal Rescue.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. Joining us on the couch now, we have Jacob Stanley, a local musician who's released an album today, and we're going to talk about that. Jacob, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, my pleasure. Glad to be here.
So, Jacob, you are kind of new to town. Went to school at LSU. Go Tigers, a little New Orleans influence there.
Yes,
but
sir.
Can you tell us a little bit about this album?
Yeah, sure thing. So this is an instrumental album. Kind of fits into the jazz started it in 2022, kind of had half of the material together before I moved to Edwards in last June, and then kind of came up with the next half since I've been here. So it's like the last chapter of my New Orleans influence, and then the first of my Valley over here.
Very cool, very cool. Talk a little bit about that influence in New Orleans. There's a lot of music going around there, including jazz. Is that really where you kind of gravitated towards that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I studied classical and jazz at LSU. That was 2013 to 2017. Obviously, there's ton of musical influence going on in New Orleans. Currently, it's Jazz Fest season, so I'm seeing all my friends like posting videos on social media and getting a little, I don't know if homesick's the right word, but seeing everybody and just being like, damn, that'd be nice to be there right now. But happy to be here and right where I am nonetheless. So.
And it's easy to say, releasing an album today, but what goes into an album? Like how much time and effort and thought process goes into an album like this?
Yeah, I mean, certainly as much as you want, I suppose. It's been a couple years process, and I didn't have any like hard dates as far as like when things needed to be in by. It was just like, well, whenever it feels like the right amount of material, then you kind of move into finishing mode. For me, that's kind of the harder part. I'll compile ideas that are 80% finished all day. Maybe that's my toxic trait is not finishing things. But it took a several focused months of just mixing it, and I could have sourced that out, but wanted to kind of challenge myself to get it sounding good myself. So it was a couple year process, and with the last year, about 9 more tunes coming together, and so it's 17 tracks in total.
Wow.
And it's really a conglomeration of different styles. The title of the album is Doodles, Vibes, Tunes, Bits, and Moments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? How do you pull that one up?
Yeah, well, I mean, it really, each tune is kind of a different vibe, a different feel, maybe a different genre, if you will. And it really almost feels like a mixtape of sorts, in that it's just kind of this smorgasbord of different musical influences of mine.
Yeah.
And so kind of set out to make an album of shorter pieces. Max length is probably around 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes, but as short as under a minute, of just kind of like little musical worlds that, may have come about, in as short as, an hour of layering.
Right.
Or, several months of sending back and forth between different people. So it's mostly myself, but I have a couple of close collaborators, back from New Orleans that I still am working with.
For sure. And you've been in other bands, and you've also really been focusing on your solo projects here. So what's kind of that difference of working on your own versus collaborating?
Yeah, so let me think. So this is probably like the fourth or fifth solo album that I've done in the last couple of years. So there's just a lot more freedom with it. So much of band mentality and writing music is kind of like a synergy. So when you're doing it by yourself, it can be a lot more freedom, but there can also be some limitations. It's like, I'm only able to do what I'm able to do, and I still like the collaborative aspect. So usually once I get to a certain point, I say, oh, this feels like it could use some drums. I'm a guitar player, so that's my primary instrument. And I'll get to a point and say, maybe put some drums on this, or maybe put some keys on this or something, get it to somebody else. But yeah, I do like the collaborative aspect, of course, and I'm searching for opportunities in the Valley here currently to do just that.
Love that.
But yeah, the solo recording aspect, it just it's just kind of this real inward introspective journey of sorts, and I just like that, kind of just playing with the program, such as GarageBand or whatever. I use a program called Studio One.
Right.
But just layering up the track, one at a time, overdubbing and making it feel like this world that you wouldn't be able to get to, with just a single instrument in the moment. So.
Yeah, and we got a sneak peek at some of these songs. Really, really beautiful is kind of the word I would say. Like very relaxing. Doodle is a great word for it, right?
Yeah, almost like to make the drawing metaphor. Yeah, kind of some of them are just kind of like spur of the moment, instant inspiration that was then listened back to and said, okay, yeah, there's something there. Let's do something with that, and then kind of slightly polished it.
Yeah, that's fun. That's fun. And then obviously you have roots in New Orleans, but you're also growing some roots here locally. Who are some of the people you're working with and organizations you're joining? But what are you kind of starting at locally?
Yeah, so a couple months back, started frequenting Eagle area more, and started making different friends over there, and now just in a few short months since I started going there and making friends there, have now moved there as of last weekend. So,
awesome.
But yeah, Zachy G for one is one person that is kind of we've been working together and playing together and becoming friends and hanging out, and yeah, he's the connection with I met you obviously. Yep. He has the Colorado Music Foundation, which is doing a lot of great stuff for musicians in the area, one of which is he'll put together these songwriter showcases. So I've done 2 in the last couple months, one at Bachelor Gulch, one at Shakedown in Vail, and that kind of gives the opportunity to intimately share your songs in a more honed in listening environment as opposed to the typical setting of a bar or outside somewhere, a restaurant, where people are really focused, and he gives the opportunity to really talk about the songs, open it up for questions about the process that the song came about. So it really is cool to have that opportunity to
definitely
showcase and kind of hone in on certain aspects that you wouldn't normally get to do if you were just in a typical gig situation.
For sure, the songwriter series really put the eyes on the artists themselves, right? So all attention's really on those guys, and it's a really cool event. Zach, we love you. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, so Zach's one, and then my buddy Corey Wines plays drums, and we're getting something actually together, a trio at the brewery that's in Gypsum. I believe it's Eagle River Brewing.
Okay.
Ringing a bell?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to start playing on Fridays, I believe there. Yeah, so that'll be exciting opportunity and platform to showcase, not only some of this music, but, other, popular instrumental tunes and, cover tunes and originals as well. So.
For sure. So starting to feel out the local scene. Coming from New Orleans, which is, almost a music haven, how do you see the music in the Valley? How do you see us as a kind of music community?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly, I don't know if condensed is the right word, but I mean, it is a smaller situation. Like, there was like a couple months period of kind of like looking around, being like, okay, like what's going on here? What is, where is the music? And the music is here. There's no shortage of music happening. That's for sure. Yeah, I mean, just coming from New Orleans, I mean, there's at least like 50 shows a day to pick from. You go on the website, the local radio station there, WWOZ, does a live music calendar, and you'll just scroll for just minutes and minutes. Okay, here, this looks good. Yeah, maybe I'll go to this. Okay, then maybe I'll go to this. It's like every single day, and it's like, especially for a musician, it can kind of, it's constant entertainment. It can also be exhausting and overwhelming. Somewhat ironically, I think, being placed where it is, Colorado, in kind of like the middle of the country, I feel like more prominent artists are touring through here.
Right.
So I've seen some artists that I've never had the opportunity to see because they would rarely or never come to New Orleans because it's so off the beaten path, I guess.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But yeah, like tonight I'm heading over to Boulder to go see a band called Knower from LA.
Awesome.
That I've been following for a couple years now, and so yeah. And a couple months back, I got to see a guitarist that I've been a fan of for years named Julian Lage, who was playing at the Valar.
Awesome.
So that was a easily top 10 music experience in my life. So I've definitely got to see some amazing shows. Got to go to Red Rocks. I saw one of my favorite bands called Big Thief. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely good opportunities and musical stuff going on here.
We'd love to hear that. Love to hear that as a local. Jacob, thanks so much for joining us. New album's out today. Give us one last pitch as we go off here.
Yeah, sure thing. So we have doodles, vibes, tunes, bits, and moments out today on all the streaming platforms and on my Bandcamp. If you'd like to support, you can find me at jacamo/bandcamp.com. That's JACAMO, and it's Bandcamp Friday, so the majority of any proceeds of that would go directly to me. Thanks to Bandcamp for being able to do that once a month on the first Friday. But yeah, all major streaming platforms, including YouTube, so yeah, check it out.
Perfect. Well, welcome to town. Thanks for joining us, and check out the new album today. Stay tuned for Morning Vail.
Appreciate you.
Good morning, Vail.
Tune into Coffee with America and start your day in the right direction, where we go over the latest and greatest in health, lifestyle, entertainment, and more. Start your day off on Coffee with America.
I'm Danella Richard. I've made a career traveling the world. I've worked for some of the biggest names in travel, and now I've traded in my business suit for a swimsuit. Swimming with the sharks, swinging at the edge of the world, throwing back a few shots, or shall I say spirits. Eating some of the best cuisine, and even making a few furry friends along the way. I invite you to come along with me and discover the world.
Join us on the famous Leadville Railroad. This historic train ride takes you on an unforgettable trip through the heart of the Rockies for an afternoon of adventure, relaxation, and sightseeing. Our scenic train rides are a perfect place to bring families closer together while immersing them in the natural beauty and rich history of this picturesque region. Enjoy the spectacular Colorado scenery. Even meet the engineer. Make memories that will last a lifetime. Tickets available at leadvillerailroad.com.
Good morning, Vail. Good morning, Vail.
Just my height. And right now he's like a little
by week, but it has been a minute since I've sat down and had a conversation with Tegan from the Eagle Valley Library District. Tegan, how are you?
Good. How are you doing? Good to see you.
Great to see you. You know, I love it. You brought all kinds of fun goodies today. We've got a lot of display happening on our coffee table.
A bunch.
So what is going on? Why so many books?
Why so many books? Okay, so April's National Poetry Month, and so this is to kind of remind everyone that we have poetry, and it comes in different forms. This isn't even half of it. I just had a hard time choosing. So poetry is fun because it's wordplay, and I think a lot of people, when they think of poetry, they might think of homework or they're not sure where to start or where to begin. And there's just so many places where you can go with poetry. And I got big books and little books, and a great place to start. And not all poetry is just words. This one happens to be poetry can also be pictures as well with the words. And this is a good one. Poetry will save your life. And so this is books where like he found poetry that really resonated with what was happening. I always like poetry where, you know, if you don't know where to begin, you just flip a page. And find a line, or if you're like, that's too long, and you're like, okay, that's short enough, I can do that. And you know, give yourself like 5 minutes to read some poetry, and you tucked in some juicy words. I brought Mary Oliver because what's fun with poetry is, you know, you get that question like, what are you going to do with your life? And she took that.
Frequently asked
me
all the time.
What are you going to do with your life? But she took that and she's like, what are you going to do with your one wild life?
Oh, wow.
And so adding those two words like really, for me, resonated with me, and that changed that question entirely. And for me, it made it more of an adventure. Like, what am I going to do with my life? And not such a daunting question, but a fun question. So I think poetry is really fun, and it's a good month to, again, highlight it, and it's so digestible. You don't have to like spend hours reading it. Just find some lines and go for it.
That's true, and you can. And what I love about poetry, well, first of all, my dad writes my mom a poem every anniversary and every Valentine's Day. So I don't know where he gets his inspiration from, but I'm assuming probably a book like this. And you know, there's so many different options. You know, what is a haiku? You know, what is a fun poem, or something that's a little bit more serious, like a sonnet. So tell me all the details. How do we know about this?
So there's tons of poems out there. And a good place to start is with kitties, or grabbing a kid's book. And so this is Sinister Goose. So if you think about Mother Goose, those are rhymes and poets. And so Twisted Rhymes for Naughty Children. So this is a fun way to start with the kiddos. But again, as you're saying, so this is the Dirt Book. So these are poems about creatures that live underground. And so this is how you can demonstrate with kids how poetry can be fun and magical.
And I love the orientation of the book.
Yes, and it doesn't, so some of these words rhyme, or using lines, so you can take your breath, so you can emphasize some of these words. And then this one again, Mirror, Mirror, so hopping into fairy tales. And with this one, you get two sides of the story. So her locks, so you get to learn like what she thought when they got cut.
How fun.
So it's two sides of the same picture, so just different observations on each. And again, you mentioned haiku. There's just different ways that you can play with words. Yep, that's a big one.
There we got it.
And so, and haikus are great. So if you're just like, it's fun to like try to do a poem a day, but that can be a challenge. So you just 5 lines. Not 5 lines. Sorry, 3 lines. Got it. And you can just bounce. And again, and learn the structure, and like sometimes you're like, what was that about? And that's what I like about poetry is like minimal. Like this is very few words, but it will make you think.
It's true.
And so that's why I really enjoy poetry, and it can be fun. Like I brought Spoon River Anthology; it's somewhere in there, and that was written in 1915.
Oh wow!
And it's about the small town, and you're getting their perspectives from the grave, and you start like reading, and you realize that these poems are intertwined with each other, and so then you start getting the town gossip, and you get a real picture of this town. So that is a fun book. Some people will remember that maybe from English class. And there can be this one in here. This one, it can be a poem about a really hard thing. It can be a true story. So poetry is a great way for expression, but also just to play with words.
It's true, and I love that you said that at the beginning of our conversation, is that it's wordplay.
Yeah.
And you know, I think that's what makes a poem fun, especially for kids, is rhyming words like Dr. Seuss.
Yes.
You know, that's exactly a very rudimentary example of poetry. It's great.
And I didn't bring one because it's checked out, but it's called I Hate the Cat, or I Hate Cats, and it's about this boy who does not like the poetry class that he's currently in. It's a curriculum at school, and he's just not into it, and they're studying Walter D. Myers, and throughout the book, he's learning the different styles of poetry, so it's always good to because then you can play with the different styles of poetry, and then at the end, he's okay with the book, and maybe a little okay with cats.
love it.
It's a great book. And it was checked out. So I was like, oh, awesome. Someone's reading it, hopefully
popular
enjoying
one.
it. Yep. And I can't bring it.
Awesome. Well, you got all of these books, and I've always wondered, so it's Poetry Month. There are so many
Yes.
other versions and ways to dive into poetry and
Yes.
poetry slams. Tell me,
Can
you tell me about that and what that is?
I love that you're like, what are those? So that's when it's performative poetry. And so it's when someone gets on a stage and they read they can either read it or they have it memorized. And so when you think about poetry and you're thinking about that performance, what else is that performance? And it's music. And so music is often, like when you're looking at lyrics, it's poetry. And so a poetry slam is the sharing of the rhythm and the words just as you would with music. And so it's really fun and impactful and powerful to see people go up there and their expression and how they're choosing to say a sentence, because they can pace it out, they can get loud, they can get soft, and you could read that on a piece of paper, but it's different when you hear it.
I feel like, you're starting to draw
Yes.
me in. Are you practicing taking?
Just getting into it. I'm just picturing it in my head, like my experiences with them. And it's very similar for when you listen to music and you go to a concert, and it's rhythm and sound and the cadence of people's voice along with what they're saying.
Amazing. And at the Eagle Valley Library District, you have access to all kinds of
Yes,
materials.
all of this.
So we've got
There's
the
more.
books to inspire if you wanted to do a poetry slam, and then you also have access to music files and things along those nature. So where can we go to learn about all of the options that you have?
So our website, evld.org. And if you can't find what you're looking for, we will always try to get it for you. So please ask. And then also you can visit our libraries at Avon, Eagle, and Gypsum.
And then you do all kinds of incredible events
Yes.
throughout the year as well.
Thank you.
Exciting stuff. I definitely feel like I need to refresh my poetry knowledge and jump back in. It's so much easier to read it sometimes.
Oh, it is. Well, exactly. And if you don't know where to start, just take one, flip it, and then there you go.
There we go. I might, during the commercial break,
Yes,
might be scrolling through some of these wonderful books that you've brought. Well, Tegan, we always appreciate you.
Oh,
and
thanks
for bringing such an incredible display of literature.
Oh,
We
yeah,
appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Yeah, always great. Now, we've got a bit more on the show. We're coming up to our Friday morning close. We'll be right back after this break.
Good morning, Vail. Good morning, Vail.
In America's heartland, living close to the land, there's a love for the country and a pride in the brand. In America's heartland, living close to the land. In America's heartland, close to the land.
I'm Amy Goodman, host of Democracy Now! Our independent news hour offers diverse perspectives and unique opinions, often unheard in the mainstream media, live as the news unfolds. Tune in for Democracy Now!, the War and Peace Report, weekday mornings at 9 and evenings at 6 on TV8 Vail, Comcast Xfinity Channel 92. There's more for you on Channel 92.
What happens to a poker player when there is life-changing money on the line?
Hey, catch! I'm rooting for me.
When they are faced with adversity?
Holy smoke. Jason can't even breathe right now. Look at him.
When a WPT title is within their grasp?
How sweet that is, baby!
See for yourself with a front row seat to all the action on the World Poker Tour.
When people think of world-class destinations, they're drawn to a place that provides opportunities for fine dining, shopping, superior lodging, exciting events, and unparalleled outdoor activities. Park City, Utah, and Vail, Colorado are renowned destinations for travelers and extraordinary homes for residents. Feature your exceptional products and services in these two luxury communities. Advertise with Park City Television and TV8 Vail. Contact us today.
Join us in exploring the everyday lives of community members here in the Vail Valley. Hear their inspiring stories of how they came here, their contributions to our community, and why they chose to call this place home. We want you to be one of our neighbors. If you would like to be featured or nominate someone to be featured, please send an email to Danielle@tv8vail.com We look forward to featuring your story right here on TV8.
Hi, I'm Gretchen Pleshaw, host of TV8 Vail. From fashion to food, from film to festivals, experience a unique look at the boutiques, spas, restaurants, and venues that make the Valley so special. Join me for Glitz and Glam. Find it in Good Morning Vail or at our website at tv8vail.com. I can't wait for our next adventure.
Good morning, Vail.
Winner and has been featured on Iron Chef America. The new restaurant opened up with a bang this winter at the Grand Hyatt Vail after months of preparation. And although Chef Makoto has multiple restaurants, including ones in Miami and Washington, D.C., he says this latest edition is a dream come true.
I just can't imagine like where I started it from, what I have right now, and now I have a restaurant in Vail. It's like a Thanksgiving and Christmas and an American Dreamer came at once. That's how I feel like.
The Grand Hyatt's general manager, Kevin Shields, says they're thrilled to add a celebrity signature restaurant to their dining options.
We not only have the opportunity to open an amazing restaurant, but to also elevate the food scene here in Vail, Colorado.
Chef Makoto is a master of the more modern Adome-style sushi, which he has perfected for over 25 years. He says he's excited to welcome in the people of Vail.
Give me an opportunity to taste my food and see what happens.
You might just be blown away. Kampai to that. For TV8 in Vail, I'm Avisha Scarborough.
Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail.
I'm Amy Goodman, host of Democracy Now! Our independent news hour offers diverse perspectives and unique opinions, often unheard in the mainstream media, live as the news unfolds. Tune in for Democracy Now!, the War and Peace Report, weekday mornings at 9 and evenings at 6 on TV8 Vail, Comcast Xfinity Channel 92. There's more for you on Channel 92.
Daily Flash.
I'm Andrea Jackson.
I'm Mitch English, welcoming you to
Mitch English and Andrea Jackson have co-hosted together for over a decade. And now, only on Daily Flash, they serve up a fast, fun, fresh perspective on the